My bank, JP Morgan Chase, $3.9 trillion in assets, the biggest bank in America. But to understand what this institution actually is, we've got to follow the money back to where it started. George Peabody, the most powerful American banker in London in the 1840s and 50s, his entire business model was to take slave-produced American cotton and sell it to British textile mills in Lancashire and then channel that European capital back to American plantations. He was the financial bridge between the whip and the global market. And he invested it directly, on the record, in places like Citizen Bank, Canal Bank, and the Union Bank of Louisiana, the exact slave banks that accepted more than 13,000 enslaved people as loan collateral, probably way more than that. These were the exact slave banks that would later be absorbed into JP Morgan Chase. In 1854, Peabody took on a partner, Junius Spencer Morgan, JP Morgan's father. Together, they ran the most important banking house in the world. And in 1859, JP Morgan himself, 22 years old, spent months in Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and New Orleans learning the cotton trade, studying its money flows, building his financial education on top of an economy producing 2 billion pounds of slave-picked cotton a year. Cotton that made 60% of all American exports. Cotton that a single city, New Orleans, was shipping out $220 million annually. That's $6.5 billion in today's money, every year from one port. When the Civil War broke out, Morgan paid $300 to hire a substitute soldier and stayed home. Then he bought 5,000 defective carbine rifles for $3.50 each and sold them to the Union Army for $22 each. Rifles that blew off soldiers' thumbs. He was investigated by Congress, and of course, he was cleared. He was young, he was wealthy, he was connected, and a pattern was established. After the war, Morgan didn't just succeed, he consumed the American economy. By 1900, he controlled 1/3 of all of the U.S. railroad lines. He created U.S. Steel, the world's first billion-dollar company. I did a reel on these guys. They trafficked in enslaved prison labor. And he controlled 60 to 70% of American steel production. He held controlling interest in 21 railroads, GE, AT&T, Western Union, Aetna, and the Pullman Company. In 1912, Congress investigated. The committee found that Morgan and his partners controlled $22.245 billion in aggregate resources across 341 directorships and 112 corporations. That was the value of all the property in the 22 states west of the Mississippi, 2/3 of the entire US GDP controlled by one banking empire. An empire that started as the financial infrastructure of the slave cotton trade that absorbed the Louisiana slave banks. That's my bank, JP Morgan. And guess what? You know how much restitution they've given back? In Chicago, because of an investigation in 2005, they were forced to give back $5 million. $1 million for 5 years. That's it. Come on, JP Morgan, do better.